Joining me for this next hour is a special guest here in studio, and it is Scott Kaspar, chairman and founder of Responsibility in Government. So tell me about responsibility in government.
Well, gladly. Earlier this summer, I founded Responsibility in Government. It's a 501c4 nonprofit organization. The mission is to hold our elected officials accountable.
Your organization, one of the things you're going to be focusing on is what they do in between
That's right.
that election. And I think that's very important, right? To put a magnifying glass on their work. What was the reason for this founding?
Well, I've grown tired of Republicans' surrender of Chicagoland and certainly Cook County in particular. We're watching our state and frankly our country absolutely fall apart right now. And it may be easy to become defeated, but we can't. There are things that each of us can do to begin to turn the tide here in Illinois. One of the things that we are going to be working on, and one of the things that we can do is recruiting and training election judges and election observers. There's a fairly surprising statistic that the vast majority of election judges, I think it's 90% or right around 90% of election judges in Cook County are Democrats, and it's by design. I mean the
Surprise,
Democrats,
surprise.
yeah,
Right.
the Democrats don't recruit Republicans, and then they wait until the election comes up, and then
They'd have to fund the police if they recruited Republicans, right?
so they wait till the election comes up, and then they fill all those vacancies. No Republicans. They fill it all with Democrats. So that's something that we want to work on of recruiting and training good people to be election judges. Something else that we want to do is we want to recruit and train candidates for local office.
Bravo.
How many times have you gone to vote and you get your ballot, you look down, and there's an office and it says vote for only one, and then you look down and there's only one.
Right.
And,
That's right.
and
A lot
that
of choices there.
Right. And it shouldn't be that way. And there are so many local offices, state offices that where the incumbents have held those positions for a long time, and no one's challenging them, and we're gonna try to do something about that.
But I think that we need to build this bench of candidates,
Right.
and make it diverse,
Right.
A diverse bench. But I think that's really badly needed, because what's interesting is we have congressional seats, U.S. congressional seats, where in some districts where there's not a Republican opponent.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely.
And they're scrambling in some of these districts to just find someone to run so that it's not an empty, right? Vote for you, choose one, and there's only one on there, right?
Right.
To your example.
Right.
I mean, this is so important. I wanted to talk about training. How are you going to kind of carry out this training of
Sure.
Is it candidates, or what kind of training?
Sure. So we're going to have a series of boot camps. We're calling them leadership accountability boot camps or labs.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. And it's going to be on a monthly basis starting as soon as next month. And each boot camp is going to focus on, a particular topic or area. We're going to bring in the experts to actually do the training, the nuts and bolts training. But more than that, and maybe a bigger part of that is we're going to bring in people who are going to help, motivate, inspire the participants, the candidates. I know you've run for office. I know you run for Congress. It's a grueling task, and so what we want to do is bring in and help build a sort of a support network for the candidates. It's one thing to get your name on the ballot. It's sort of a technical series of things to get on the ballot. And then you're on the ballot, and then what?
Right.
That's actually like 10% of the battle. Then the real battle begins of getting out and running your campaign, and so part of the reason why I think there's not a lot of people running for local office is because it's a lot of effort, it's a lot of time, it can be a lot of money. But I think with the right support network, that becomes a less grueling task.